Today we're going to look at how transgenderism works from a German New Medicine perspective. What is going on in someone's brain if, like, a man all of a sudden wants to become a woman? What is going on in that person's brain? We can see things happening in their temporal lobes on a brain CT scan. What is happening to a woman who wants to become a man? We can see things happening in her brain CT scan. Now, I mainly focus on gut health issues, and I have a webinar in the description below. It's absolutely free, and it's all my best information for you to heal your gut as fast as possible with the least amount of effort. So what's mainly fueling this urge to be masculine or to be feminine is the amount of testosterone or the amount of estrogen flowing through somebody's bloodstream. Now, where is most of the testosterone produced in men? It's produced in the testicles. Along with the estrogen, most of the estrogen is being pumped out of the testicles. And for women, most of the estrogen is coming out of the ovaries and the testosterone as well. But what is pulling the levers? What is controlling the flow? What is telling the testicles to produce more testosterone or to produce more estrogen? What is doing that? This thing right up here. The brain controls everything that's happening in the body. So from a German New Medicine perspective, what Dr. Hammer would have done is if somebody comes to him looking for help, and he's like, hey, I'm a guy, and I just want to put on lipstick and date other men and all this stuff. What is happening in that person's mind? He would look at their temporal lobes on a brain CT scan, and he would see heavy three-dimensional rings on the right side. This is the right and this is the left. The right side of the temporal lobes is responsible for testosterone production. So if this person has heavy rings on the right side of this temporal lobe, this person is gonna probably be pretty darn depressed. And a lot of people they want to change their gender, they have a lot of emotional trauma. They have a lot of emotional issues going on. I want you to look at this from, pretend you're part of a wolf pack and you just happen to be one of the smaller wolves of the pack, and the alpha wolf of the pack is going to kick your butt if you try to start sleeping with his women. The way your body is trying to help you survive and help the tribe survive, to help the pack survive, is to make you more feminine or to make you homosexual so that there's more of a cohesion in the pack, so the pack that can survive and then everyone's not killing each other because they're trying to sleep with the same women. To a certain extent, this is what is happening in a trans person's mind. They went through a traumatic event that hit them really hard in their right temporal lobe, and this just crashed the testosterone production, and now they start to become more feminine. And then they get all conflicted about that, which probably makes the conflict even worse, and their estrogen crashes even worse. And then they start taking estrogen pills, and then they really start wanting to become a woman. Now, it's anyone's choice what they want to do. I just want to help people understand what is going on in their brain when they wake up one morning and they want to change their gender. This side of the brain, the right temporal lobes, controls the testosterone production. And when we have more conflict activity on this side than that side, this lowers testosterone, and you want to be more feminine. If we have a woman who has a lot of conflict activity on the left side, this crashes estrogen production, and she wants to become a man. There's more details to this that I'm not going to go into, but from a surface level, this is what's happening in a person's brain that wants to change their gender. I think people could make this transition better, and other people would understand the transgender community better if they did this. I just want people to have the facts so that they can make an informed decision on what is happening inside these people's brains and their bodies. A lot of people think that changing their gender is going to fix all their problems. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. Me, personally, I don't think so. Because before the person wanted to change, they experienced a traumatic event. It hit them in the temporal lobe somewhere. And they're still haunted by that conflict. We have to find that conflict and then find the reminders, find all the ways that we're still haunted by that conflict, and resolve those. And then the person can be a more mentally stable, less emotional person. And sometimes these conflicts are so intense and so ingrained in our mind that we don't want to resolve them. It's good to understand what that conflict is so we have some control, because a lot of these people are suicidal, they're bipolar, super manic, super depressed the next day. They're on all sorts of medications to control their emotions. We need to find that traumatic event and understand it a little bit better to understand what is fueling this condition. All right, guys, I hope that helped you out. I hope you found this interesting. I got this information from learninggnm.com. If you want to, there really isn't a big section on that website about transgenderism, but there is a section on how the temporal lobes work and how the temporal lobes control the testosterone and estrogen production inside of not just humans, but in all animals. This is another thing that I want to point out, is that when animals first start developing their sexual organs, the first 3 to 6 months, especially for cats and dogs, they are crazy. They will hump males, females, the rocks, shoes, your legs, your hand, your head. They will hump their food bowl, their water bowl. They will hump everything. They are crazy. That is not a good time when the brain is highly malleable to start suggesting that they have a gender misidentity thing. It is natural to be sex crazed when your sexual organs first start developing. And just because you want to hump a guy doesn't mean that you're gay for life during that period, or vice versa. I hope this gives you a little bit of light, shines a little light on what is happening in a transgender person's mind. I think this can bring a lot of comfort to a parent or to the person themselves where this is happening, because there's a huge conflict in this person's life that's fueling this type of behavior. And you can do with that information what you wish. Guys, if you want to learn how to heal your gut the quick, fast way with the least amount of effort, go click on my webinar. It has all the information you need to get better. It's free, it's instant, you can be watching in 2 seconds. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.